Picture this. You've just wrapped up a massive, completely exhausting project.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
Right. You're sitting at your desk, and the glow of the monitor is literally the only light in the room. It's something like 2 a.m.
And your eyes are just burning.
Completely burning. And right there in front of you, sitting next to your keyboard, is this terrifying little pile of black plastic squares.
Yeah, the memory cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've got SD cards, you've got CF Express cards, micro SDs, and right at that exact moment, the sheer icy panic of managing digital files just completely sets in.
It really is a profoundly universal feeling for anyone who creates anything digital. I mean, it's that awful moment where your entire day or week or even a whole month of incredibly hard work exists only on a few, fragile little chips.
Yeah.
And, deep in your bones, that one wrong click in your computer's file manager could just wipe it all away.
The anxiety is so visceral. I mean, whether you're a casual weekend creator just trying to save your family vacation footage, or you're managing a massive multi-camera commercial shoot, that fear never really goes away.
No, it doesn't.
You're terrified of formatting the wrong card. You're terrified of dragging a folder to the wrong place, or dealing with a corrupted transfer that you don't even discover until 3 days later.
Which is the absolute worst.
Oh, the worst. So today we're going on a deep dive into a piece of software called Copsy. And the source material we have today paints a picture of a tool making some, incredibly bold promises.
Very bold.
Right? Completely revolutionizing multi-camera file copying. But our mission for this deep dive isn't just to, review a software utility.
Right, it's bigger than that.
Exactly. We want to understand how removing that massive friction from data management actually changes the creative process entirely.
It's a necessary shift in how we work, really. We're essentially trying to move from a paradigm of deep anxiety to one of invisible automation.
Invisible automation. I like that.
Yeah, because if you think about the sheer volume of data being generated today, it's absolutely staggering. So we're looking at Copsy not just as a file copier, but as a dedicated solution to the chaos of modern digital capture.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the modern creator is, rarely just pointing a single camera anymore.
Almost never.
You have a primary camera, maybe a drone up in the sky capturing aerials, a dedicated audio recorder picking up the dialogue, maybe a secondary B-roll camera. The data is coming from literally everywhere.
And before you can even begin to organize that data, you have to wrangle it.
Right. Which brings us to how this system identifies the mess in the first place. The big, bold claim right at the top of the material is that this is built for fast, reliable, multi-camera file copying.
And they are not messing around with who they're targeting.
No, they aren't. Because right out of the gate, we see support and logos for high-end industry standards. We're talking ARRI, Red D, Sony.
And we need to stop there for a second, because seeing names like ARRI and ARRI tells you immediately that this software is engineered to handle massive, complex file structures.
Yeah, these aren't your smartphone videos.
Exactly. For the listener who might usually just airdrop a video from their phone,
Yeah.
we need to clarify what these files actually are. These aren't just, simple compressed MP4 files.
Right.
These are incredibly dense, often uncompressed cinema files. A single minute of footage can be gigabytes of data.
Just massive.
Dragging and dropping them manually through your computer's default file browser is, it's often a recipe for a frozen machine.
Right. The data rate is astronomical. But Copsy's philosophy seems to be beautifully simple despite all that complexity. Their phrase is literally, plug in, we'll detect it.
That's the promise.
That's the promise. You plug all your various card readers in, and the dashboard just figures it out. It automatically categorizes the connected devices. You look at the interface, and it instantly sorts everything into clear buckets.
Cameras, drones, and audio.
Yes. Cameras, drones, and audio.
And that categorization is doing a lot of invisible heavy lifting. Normally, when you plug multiple cards into a computer, you open your File Explorer and see a generic list of unnamed drives.
Oh, like Untitled 1 or No Name.
Exactly. No name, drive E. You have to click into each one, dig through a labyrinth of strangely named folders, and just guess what camera it came from based on the file extensions.
It's a nightmare. But how does Copsy actually know? Because the specific examples in the dashboard they show are wild.
Yeah, they are.
Under camera A, it instantly recognizes the Sony FX6, and it tells you exactly how much data is on there. It says 82.39 gigabytes.
Very specific.
Right. Then right below that, it spots the audio source, identifying a Zoom S6 recorder, and even gives you the technical specs.
The 48 kilohertz 24-bit audio.
Yes. which, by the way, means it's capturing so much sonic detail you could probably hear a pin drop in the next room, but those files are huge.
Oh, massive.
And then, boom, there is the drone, a DJI Inspire 3, sitting there with 128.45 gigabytes of footage. It's even detecting massive 1 terabyte memory cards with total ease. So how is it magically identifying the exact camera model?
Well, it's not magic, it's metadata scraping. But it's executed brilliantly.
Okay, metadata scraping.
Yeah, every professional camera writes a specific hidden folder architecture to its memory card. Like Sony has a very specific XD rote folder structure, for example.
Oh, right. I've seen that folder and had no idea what it was.
Exactly. RAID cameras write specific XML files alongside the video clips. So the software is instantly reading those hidden architectural clues and translating them into plain English for the user.
That's amazing.
It completely reduces the cognitive load.
It makes me think of an air traffic controller, actually. But let's take that analogy a step further. Usually you, the creator, are the one running around the tarmac in the dark with a flashlight.
I love that image.
Right. You're opening up cargo doors trying to figure out which plane is carrying what. Like, is this the drone footage? No, wait, this is the audio. But here, the software's sitting up in the tower, and every incoming flight has a transponder. It's seamlessly wrangling high-res cargo flying in from the sky on the drones, coming in from the ground on the main cameras, and rolling in from the sound booth.
You just look at the screen and know exactly what has landed.
Exactly.
And preventing that tarmac running is crucial because of what it prevents, which is human error.
Oh, for sure.
When a creator is at the end of a 14-hour shoot, their cognitive bandwidth is completely depleted. That is decision fatigue at its absolute worst.
Yeah, you're barely awake.
The absolute worst time to demand that someone manually decipher cryptic file names and mentally map out what goes where is right when they are the most tired. By presenting a unified dashboard where it clearly identifies everything, the software just absorbs that mental burden.
Okay, identifying the gear is impressive, but knowing what's on the desk doesn't actually get it onto a hard drive. And this is where my anxiety usually spikes. Yes, the transfer. The system sees all the devices, but the next step is routing all this precious cargo and making sure there's a safety net in case a hard drive fails.
Routing and redundancy. If you don't get this right, literally nothing else matters.
The source shows this really clean process for choosing your destination. The user just selects a primary destination on their SSD or hard drive, and it builds this logical folder path automatically.
Right.
The example they show is organizing by year and month. So it routes files to a path like 2026, then a subfolder for June, and then into a folder called Copsy.
It's establishing a rigid, predictable hierarchy so you never have to guess where your footage went 6 months from now.
But I have to push back here a little because looking at panel 5 in the source, they highlight a feature called Backup Made Simple.
Okay.
It shows a single toggle switch to enable a second destination, so your files automatically copy to a second hard drive or SSD at the exact same time. And honestly, I don't trust it. Is it really just a toggle? Because in my experience, if I try to dump massive 4K video files to 2 different hard drives simultaneously, my laptop fan sounds like a jet engine, and the whole system freezes from thermal throttling.
Oh, yeah.
How does flipping a switch not just crash the computer?
I completely validate that hesitation. That system crashing scenario you just described is exactly why so many creators simply skip making a backup when they're tired.
Right. It's too stressful.
It feels inherently risky to ask your computer's basic operating system to juggle multiple heavy data streams. But what Copsy's doing under the hood isn't just asking your Mac or PC to copy 2 things at once.
What is it doing?
It's utilizing dedicated software-level parallel routing. It carefully manages the data buffer so it doesn't overwhelm your computer's internal bus.
So it's essentially acting as a traffic cop for the data pipeline inside the computer.
Exactly. And by making it a simple toggle, they are democratizing the 3-2-1 backup rule, which is notoriously difficult to maintain manually.
Okay, break that down for us. For anyone listening who doesn't know, what is the 3-2-1 rule?
It is the absolute golden rule of data management. You should always have 3 total copies of your data.
Okay, 3 copies.
Those copies should be stored on 2 different types of media or separate drives, and one of those copies must be stored off-site.
Like in the cloud.
Like in the cloud. Traditionally, executing just the first part of that, getting your data onto 2 separate physical drives safely and simultaneously required specialized, incredibly expensive enterprise software.
Oh, wow.
What this does is take an enterprise-level data security practice and reduce it to a simple switch. You toggle it on, select HDD SSD, and the software handles all the complex parallel routing underneath the hood.
That's super smart.
And importantly, if the switch is off, it clearly warns you that copies will land on HDD1 only. It forces you to acknowledge your level of risk.
I get the 3-2-1 rule, but putting all my trust in one single button still feels terrifying to me. And that brings us to the actual execution.
The real test.
Exactly. Copsy's entire philosophy here boils down to a phrase that sounds almost too good to be true, which is one click. That's it.
A very bold claim.
You literally just hit a giant purple copy all button to start the entire process. And the speeds they are boasting are serious. The dashboard shows a real-time metric copying at 326.7 megabytes per second. That is tearing through data.
But speed without verification is just a really fast way to destroy your project.
Exactly. I want to ask you, the listener, to think about the last time you manually dragged and dropped a massive folder of important files and walked away. Did you actually know it copied perfectly, or did you just assume it did because the little progress bar hit 100%?
Which is a terrifying question, because that 100% progress bar on your computer is often a complete lie.
Wait, what? It's a lie.
Yes. Your computer's operating system uses something called caching. Sometimes it tells you the transfer is 100% complete because it has moved the data into a temporary waiting room in the system's memory. But it hasn't actually finished physically writing all the ones and zeros to the external hard drive yet.
Oh, no way.
If you yank the drive out right when it hits 100%, you can corrupt the whole thing. And even if it does write it, basic operating systems just don't check their own work.
What do you mean?
Bits can flip during transfer. A 0 becomes a 1. It's called bit rot.
Okay, that is terrifying.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Copsy's 3-step security process, which is visible right there on the interface to combat exactly that. Step 1 is copying files. Step 2 is verifying. And step 3 is finalizing.
It is that second step that is the real magic trick.
Right. They use what's called a checksum comparison to make sure everything is fast, verified, always safe.
Which is a massive technical feature.
It is. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. For anyone listening who isn't a data engineer, think of a checksum comparison like this. Imagine you need to copy a massive 1,000-page manuscript.
Okay, I am with you.
The normal way your computer copies files, the way that just relies on that lying progress bar, is like hiring a fast reader. They look at the original, type it out as fast as they can, and at the end, they just count the pages. Yep, 1,000 pages here, 1,000 pages there, we are good.
Right.
But they might have misspelled a word or skipped the crucial sentence, and you wouldn't know until months later when you went to actually read it. A checksum comparison isn't just proofreading. It is like taking the entire original 1,000-page manuscript and putting it through a mathematical meat grinder.
A cryptographic algorithm.
Yes, and this meat grinder crunches down all the data of those 1,000 pages and spits out a unique 32-character code, a completely unique fingerprint.
Okay.
Yeah, it does the exact same thing to the new copy on your hard drive. It puts it through the meat grinder. If even one single comma was missed during the transfer, the meat grinder spits out a radically different 32-character code. That's the checksum.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, that mathematical meat grinder is why checksum verification is considered the absolute gold standard in data integrity.
It makes total sense.
What the software is doing is calculating that fingerprint for the original file on your camera card. Then, after it copies the file to your hard drive at that blistering 326.7 megabytes per second, it calculates the fingerprint of the new copy.
And compares them.
Exactly. If those two codes don't match exactly, the software throws an error. It knows the file is corrupted.
And it catches it right there before you format your memory card for the next day of shooting.
Precisely. Usually you have to choose between speed and safety. If you want it fast, you skip the verification and just pray.
Yeah.
If you want it safe, you sit there for hours waiting for the computer to double-check its work. By optimizing the checksum process to run seamlessly alongside multi-destination routing, Copsy is claiming to deliver both without any compromise.
Okay, so the data is transferred. It is perfectly mathematically verified. It lives on 2 different hard drives. The files are safe. But a giant pile of safe, verified data is still a completely useless pile if you can't actually find anything when you open your editing software.
That is so true.
How does this system handle the aftermath of the transfer?
This is where we transition from purely technical utility to workflow optimization. because finding your footage is really half the battle.
The source outlines a feature called Organized Automatically, and it really delivers on that. It builds a beautiful, perfectly clean folder structure. It sorts everything by date, then by the specific camera, and then by the individual card.
So clean.
So under the June folder, you have your Copsy folder, and inside that, perfectly segregated, is Camera A, the Sony FX6, Audio, and Drone, the DJI Inspire 3. Their boldest promise in the entire document is right here. It says, no manual sorting, ever.
That is a master claim. Sorting footage manually is an absolute energy vampire.
But they don't stop there. Once it's sorted locally, they have background cloud integrations running. It automatically hooks into Google Drive and Dropbox to begin uploading your files to the cloud.
Which covers the offsite part of the 3-2-1 rule?
Yes. And again, you might ask, how does this not crash your internet or your computer? It does it by queuing. It finishes the local safety copy first, so your memory cards are free, and then it quietly trickles the data up to the cloud in the background.
Very smart design.
And the best part, they have an instant notification system integrated directly with Telegram.
Oh, the notification is the psychological payoff.
Yes. Think about what this means for you, the listener. It means you can get back to your hotel room at 2 a.m., plug in a hub with 6 different memory cards, hit one purple copy all button, and just walk away.
You go brush your teeth, you get into bed.
And you just wait for your phone to buzz.
Yeah.
You get a ping on Telegram telling you that your gigabytes of drone footage and cinema camera files are verified, backed up to 2 separate local drives, organized into perfectly named folders, and are currently trickling up to Google Drive while you sleep. The psychological relief of that is massive.
It absolutely is, and it speaks directly to Copsy's ultimate slogan, copy smarter. Save time, focus on the story.
Focus on the story.
We really need to break down how data anxiety drains creative energy. Every ounce of mental bandwidth you spend worrying about file paths, dragging folders, or wondering if a transfer corrupted because of bit rot.
That terrifying bit rot.
Is bandwidth you are not spending on your actual craft.
It's just administrative overhead.
Completely. Whether you are a documentary filmmaker, a wedding photographer, or a sound designer, your primary value is in your creative choices, your eye, your ear, not your data entry skills.
Yeah.
By automating the mundane, by making it faster, safer, and simpler. Tools like this are essentially building a protective wall around the creator's mental bandwidth.
It's giving you your time and your sanity back.
Yeah.
So to recap the journey we just took, we started with the absolute chaos of multiple SD cards, high-end audio recorders, and drone media scattered across a desk at 2 a.m.
A literal nightmare.
Through the lens of this one tool, we watched that chaos get instantly detected by scraping the hidden metadata, perfectly routed to multiple redundant drives without melting the laptop, Checksum verified through a mathematical meat grinder for total safety, automatically organized into a flawless folder structure, and backed up to the cloud, all while sending a simple text message to say, the job is done. It is the ultimate peace of mind.
It really is an elegant solution to a chaotic, modern problem. But, this raises an important question, one that goes beyond just the mechanics of file copying.
And with that,
If our tools perfectly and frictionlessly manage our digital past without our input, how does that change our relationship to the art we capture in the present?
oh, that is a fascinating angle. You mean, does the friction actually serve a purpose?
Exactly. Think about it. If the penalty and the headache of sorting files are completely gone, if data storage and organization essentially become invisible and infinite, well, we just shoot infinitely more footage.
Wow.
In the days of film, you only shot what mattered because film was expensive and physically heavy.
Right, you had to be intentional.
Even in early digital days, you stopped shooting because managing the files was a nightmare. If we remove that nightmare, will we stop being intentional with what we capture?
That's a scary thought.
Will we just become digital hoarders who leave the camera rolling 24/7 because we know the software will sort it out later? Or will we truly use that saved time and protected mental bandwidth to, as the software promises, focus on the story?
That is the ultimate challenge. The software has completely removed the friction of the process, but it is entirely up to you what you do with the momentum it gives you back. It is definitely something to chew on the next time you are staring down a terrifying little pile of black plastic memory cards at 2 in the morning. Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into the mechanics, the hidden anxieties, and the meaning of our digital workflows. Keep creating, keep asking questions, and we will catch you on the next one.